Now we're going to be dealing with some variables, but the same concepts still apply. And remember how we were talking about finding the nth root? Well, here we're finding just the square root in this first one and the second one. Here we're finding the cube roots. We're talking about just different roots. We're not specifically talking about square roots or cube roots or fourth roots. We're talking about all of them, so we say nth root. And that's just a general term once again. So I'm going to break down that 18 first, and since it's a square root, I'm looking for pairs. So I got 2 and 9, and then I'm going to come over to the side here, we've got 3 and 3. So I got a pair of 3s that can come out. All right, that's awesome. So what I'm going to have is 3, and what I like to do for my notation is, since this 2 right here, it can't come out, I just pop it up here right now so I don't forget about it, okay? So that's just a notation. Now, the next one, I'm looking at x to the 6th. Well, x to the 6th is basically like x, 6 x's. How many pairs of x's can I take out? Well, I've got 1 pair, 2 pair, 3 pairs. So x to the 3rd ends up coming out. Were there any left over? No. So I don't have anything left over in the root for that one. I still just have this 2 that'll be left in the radical, in the root. Now I look at the y's. So I've got y, 3 y's because it's y cubed. How many pairs? Well, there's 1 pair. So a y will come out. However, we've got a y that's left in there because he didn't have a buddy, he couldn't come out of the house, out of the radical. Okay, these are fun little words that we're using. All right, so the next thing, we've got our radical, and we've got our leftovers, 2y. There's my answer. Whew, that was awesome. So why don't you try that next one on your own, pause it, try it, and then you can either fast forward through or watch the explanation, whatever you'd like to do. So for this one, I'm going to break down the 256. But now hold on a sec. If you remember, square root of 256 is 16. I can save myself a whole long old factor tree if I just remember that square root of 256 is 16. So I'm going to have a 16 that comes out of the radical, and nothing is left over on the inside like the last one when we had the 2. So it's just 16 is going to come out, and it's going to be sitting out front like this 3 is right here. So let's move on to the variables now. I've got v to the 7th. How many pairs of v's? I'm not going to write it out like this every time. That's going to take too long, and time is money. That ain't funny. Well, I've got 3 pairs of v's because 2, 4, 6. So that's 3 pairs, and then there's going to be a v left over. D to the 5th. I've got 2 pairs of d's and 1 d left over. And then for z, I've got, well, 4 pairs of z's. So that comes out, nothing left over. So what I'm left with now is the square root of v times d. Bada boom, bada bang. All right, now let's think here for a sec. Critically think. That's fun. I know. It's awesome. If we're taking out pairs here, and we already did this in the last video, what are we taking out here? You guys are great. You're absolutely right. We're taking out groups of 3s. Awesome. So, 17. Can I break that down? No. It's 1 and 17. Darn. That's just going to stay in the radical. Okay? So that'll just stay in the radical. We'll have a 17 chilling in the radical. So I'm going to write it up there for now. X squared. Can I take out any groups of 3? No, there's only 2, so it stays x squared inside. T to the 5th. Yes, I can take out a group of 3. Now let's look at that for a sec since we haven't dealt with the groups of 3 with variables. There's my group of 3. How many are left over? 2. So I'm going to have t out there because one group of 3 t's, one group of 3 t's. So it's t to the 1st coming out. And there's t squared left in. So now I've got my cube root of 17 x squared t squared. So I really like having this as my it's my scratch paper. I'm just writing my stuff down so I remember what is going to go in here because I don't really know how long it's going to be out in front. See how this one got really long? If I wrote 16 and then a radical, I wouldn't have room to write all this stuff. So I'd like to do that.